Hey guys, Ben Bateman here for Afterbuzz TV at the Dolby Theater in Hollywood at the official red carpet for Better Call Saul at the 33rd Annual Paley Fest. Now, I cannot wait to talk to some of these folks here today. Bob Odenkirk especially is the creator of my favorite SNL sketch of all time, and I intend to ask him about it. So we'll see you guys after the carpet. Thanks for stopping by. I've been here for Afterbuzz TV talking to the one and only Michael McKean, Mr. David St. Hubbins himself. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you.
I love this this layered outfit here. Did you decide yourself, or do you have a publicist that's for you?
I saw Annie Hall recently, and I thought if it works for Diane Keaton, it'll work for me.
Yeah, well, it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
So, true story, when I was a teenager, my older brother got me into hair metal. He thought he was joking. I took it dead serious.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of Spinal Tap.
Good, yeah.
And I had my own aliases. Tommy Guns was one that I went by.
Good.
You know, things like that. So when you came up with the names, you know, Nigel Tufnell and David St. Hubbins,
Yeah.
did you guys go through a whole list of choices like that?
Well, no, the names seemed to stick right away. I knew I wanted to be David. And Chris gave me my last name. He came up with Nigel Tufnell by himself. Derek Smalls, I don't really remember. I think Harry kind of came up with that for himself. The name of the band, we went through a lot of guesswork, you know, and some of it's wound up as titles of albums and stuff in the lore, in the various lore. If you look in the old LP,
yeah,
you can see that there's the Rocklopedia, you know, Britannica, and all those names. There are a lot of things in there that used to be Spinal Tap names. So.
Yeah, it's so funny that it came out, and then over the course of the next 6 or 7 years, the genre got even more commercial, and the things you guys were making fun of got even sillier.
Well, right as we were shooting, that's when Iron Maiden came about, and Leopard, and you know, some of these other bands that were really kind of, you know, hair metal part 2, really.
So jumping over to the show that we're covering here, obviously, Better Call Saul, huge fan of the show. You go back with Bob, right? You guys both, do you know each other from the comedy scene, SNL?
Well, SNL a little bit. He was actually gone from the show when I was there for my brief stay. And so I met him kind of as a guy who would hang around, you know, because he was doing other things. Excuse me, at that point, and they were cooking up Mr. Show.
Right.
And I became a huge Mr. Show fan. And I think I probably begged him to be on Mr. Show, so they put me on one episode. And David Cross is, you know, Bob and David were pretty strong team.
Yeah.
And also, yeah, all their, you know, John Ennis and you know, Mary Lynn Ricekup and all their, yeah.
So now playing a character on this show who's kind of one of these love-to-hate characters, you know, obviously it drives the fans crazy, but you believe you're doing the right thing as the character at all times, I'm assuming.
Yeah, sure. I don't think any villain is interesting if he thinks he's doing the wrong thing.
Right.
You know, I mean, even Goldfinger thought he was after a big score, you know, yeah, and he wanted to rule the world, but he thought he was the person to do it. You know, my characters, my desires are a little more modest. I just want Jimmy out of my life, but I want to do it without appearing like a bad person.
Right.
And you know, I think that Chuck really does feel that he's doing the right thing.
You want to break up? You want the girlfriend to break up with you without having to cheat on her, essentially.
That's pretty good. Image.
Fair enough. So the show, obviously, Breaking Bad was a very, very intense, very dramatic show, and a lot of your background is in comedy with the Chris Guest movies and this sort of satirical comedy. Is it interesting for you to be playing a largely dramatic character in a dramatic show that's all, the pieces are all sort of from comedy?
Yeah. I don't know. We don't really think about it.
Yeah.
You know, we get a script, it tells us what to do. If the script has a lot of jokes in it, you do the jokes. If it has something else going on, you find out what that is, you find out what your character wants, and you go for it. So it's essentially the same job no matter what.
Last question for you. I'm a big fan of the Clerks animated series.
Oh, yeah.
And if I remember correctly, yeah, you did some voices, right?
I did.
Your character tears out the heart of a character that it's like a Indiana Jones, the Temple of Doom spinoff, I think.
Yeah, if you say so.
You play Rom or something like that?
A long time ago.
I watched it like 100 times. I was going through IMDb. I saw the character listing. I couldn't believe it.
Well, I was in a Harvey Birdman, too.
Okay.
I mean, you look around, I'm everywhere.
Yeah.
I was on Dinosaurs. I was on every show.
Very
Yeah.
career.
Yeah.
Well, sir, I'm very happy to meet you. Thank you so much.